Today we are recording mocap data. We've chosen for this building because there's not a lot of external factors that can interrupt the sensors. So it's a big space without metal, without any magnetic interference. We create a 3D environment. We record mocap data. We model the mannequins. And James Mcqueen is providing us with the virtual garments, and then we put that all together, and with virtual cameras we make a virtual fashion show. So we're using motion capture because it has that natural feeling to it, the natural way of movement, and we are using experienced models that actually have experience on walking on catwalks, and we're trying to take that data and put that in the digital world to make it more authentic and more real.
So basically this is suits, which is very straight because there are a lot of sensors attached, and those sensors are captured by a software which reproduce our movement on the computer. And all the things I can say is that it's very well engineered because the movement on the screens matches perfectly the movement I am doing on the stage. When you walk, you have to walk in a way which is non-natural to you, and that's because on the screen will look pretty different. So here we walk with the arms a little bit too distant from themselves. Sometimes we walk very stiff, or we look around in a natural way we will do in our life. But that's because it suits very well on the screen. So here we have to work a little bit with our imagination and go beyond the things we are used to do on a live catwalk.
In these COVID times where physical contact and physical working isn't, well, allowed and not happening actually, there is the solution of being virtual first row seat at a virtual fashion show, because I think it's important to make the audience aware of the fact that they could attend a fashion show in COVID times.
This whole experience was really special because in this Corona time, it is hard to do a physical runway, so it's really amazing that we can do it online, that we can make it virtual. It was really weird in the beginning because there's no audience and the designer himself isn't here as well, so that was kind of weird. But the good part about it was that I could do it over and over again. So if something went wrong or too slow or too fast, I could do it again, so that was nice.
The mocap data we are recording today, we're going to put on 3D models, and those models are going to move within our 3D environment. So when we see them walking here, they're actually going to walk in the digital world, inside and outside of the building.
We used Unreal Engine to build the environment. Unreal is a game engine, mostly used for games, of course. It's a real-time renderer. You can play first-person shooters in it, for example. And we use it for virtual showrooms or even for still rendering. So we built the landscape in it, put the tower in, and the animations are put in sequences so we can capture those with virtual cameras.
Gary came with this storyboard to me. He said, I made this storyboard and I want you to make a narrative for it.
Gary has that same drive and creativity as his uncle, and trying to find a new innovative way to present his fashion, and I think the combination between his legacy and our tag is creating the new way to do fashion.
I'm his fan since I'm more or less 14 years old. Now I'm 27, and I will never imagine after 13 years to be part of his show.
I think the collaboration between him and me was perfect because he had this in his mind what he wanted to tell. And me as a narrative director, a more conventional director, I was trying to understand his story and fit that into film. Well, I think in COVID times there is not this limitation of working. I think creativity is not limiting my way of working with other people. All creativity you have inside of you is not depending on a location. And I think that's a very important message to give to people who are thinking, hey, COVID is limiting me. No, it's not.